me take your time. I want to say a special good morning to those of you listening to Classic Radio, viewing GBN TV. Good morning to you. Welcome inside of the mid-morning buzz. And of course, you know, anytime the mid-morning buzz comes on around this time of the morning is always something special. Let me say good morning to, of course, my guest this morning representing the Becon Insurance. We have with us this morning, I'm not sure who is who yet, so I'm just going to call the names. So we have Ms. Molly Roberts with us this morning, and she's the Grenada branch manager. Molly. All right. Good morning to you, Molly. Hope you don't mind the first name basis.
You call me Molly.
No problem. Right. And also we have Miss Maria Gonzalez. Good morning to you both. Welcome to Classic Radio.
Thank you.
Should I say Happy New Year, Happy Independence, everything in between,
Happy
right?
Valentine's.
Happy Valentine's. all that is to come. All right. How are you folks doing this morning?
Wonderful.
All right. All right. So our main focus of the conversation this morning, we're talking homeowners insurance. When we say homeowners insurance, there could be a listener, a viewer out there, and always hearing the conversation, homeowners insurance. Why would I need homeowners insurance? What is the real reason for that? And there are lots of reasons, of course, you will share with us this morning when it comes across on that. So let's kick the conversation. What is a homeowner insurance? And if I could also add, how much coverage someone needs, especially when they want to obtain homeowners insurance. I'm not sure who's going to grab onto that question for me this morning.
All right, I'll take the first part and Molly will take the second part.
Sure.
Homeowners insurance is insurance for your property that is used for private dwelling. Mm-hmm. In other words, if you have a shop or you have some sort of commercial activity, you won't be offered homeowners insurance. It has to be occupied for private dwelling only. All right. Homeowners insurance typically covers damage to the property by hurricane, earthquake, of course fire. Fire is standard. Volcanic eruption, flood. Some of the extensions that the Becon insurance policy would include, it's if your neighbor's property was on fire, mm-hmm. and they happen to have access to your property to put that fire out, and you have damage, it will cover that under your homeowner's policy. Okay. If the smoke from the neighbor's property, the loss, mm-hmm. caused damage to your property, the Becon insurance policy covers that. It's called smoke damage. So there are lots of extension. Under the homeowner's insurance, you also get some burglary, house break-in, malicious damage, some liability, public liability, employer's liability for your servants. And of course, we can go on, but we would really rather you come to our office.
Have that conversation.
Yes, we want you to contact us. At any one of our offices. We are in Calais, we have an office in Grenville, and we have one in Carrick.
How could someone know the amount of homeowners coverage that they really need?
First of all, to know the adequacy of your sum insured, we ask persons to get a valuation. Okay. It's important for you to know the value of your asset. So there are various amount of evaluators on island who can assist you in that regard. Once you have that document, you can come into the office and meet with our underwriters to obtain coverage. But that is one of the avenues that we really want persons to use in order to have adequate coverage on their policies.
So you should know how much your property is worth.
You should know.
That's
yes, you should
start,
know.
So initial start.
Because you have invested, you have borrowed money or built it on your own, so you will know the amount spent to construct that property.
All right. Market value is always something that folks will that's where your valuation comes in. You understand what your property worth and all of that. When you already obtain that market value and you probably want to replace your coverage, how does that affect that sum of insurance? So let's say for a ballpark figure, I insured my property for $50,000, or I said my property is worth $50,000, sorry, and I probably had some renovations done, probably. And that was probably after the fact. I have already insured. And now I want to get my property come up to the value insured to the level that it has gotten up to. I do some modification, I'm looking good. All right. So I want more insurance. And how does that work? How would that work?
That's a really, really good question, because many people do that.
Yeah.
You know, salaries don't stay the same. You start to earn a little more, families grow, you add another bedroom, you do the downstairs. And in doing so, you increase the value of the property, but you never come back to increase your sum insured. So what happens is that after time, you end up with what's called underinsurance.
Okay.
In other words, the cost to replace your property far exceeds the amount that you've insured it for. When you insure, you're transferring the risk to the insurance company, and you're saying to us, hey, if my property gets damaged, this is what it's worth. This is what I'd like you to pay. But the insurance policy is more concerned about the full replacement value.
Okay.
So every time, most people try to do it every 5 years if you haven't had modification, where you increase your sum insured by 5%. Molly likes that part. Inflation, building costs going up. So it's important that you keep your sum insured in keeping in par with the replacement cost of your property. So if you started with one bedroom, wooden building, and after time you convert it to 2-bedroom concrete, you need to increase your sum insured for that difference that you've spent to construct, and that's how you keep your sum insured adequate.
So then you have to go get a revaluation again and come through the process of, it wouldn't be having the whole process redone, is it that way?
It will be having the whole process redone, because you have added value to what was existing. So you have to have the whole process redone. You may have used, like Maria said, must have been wood before. Now you have concrete. You may have used green hat. You have different types of material that you use that will increase the value of your property. So you need to get a valuation. I think it's required that you get a valuation.
Okay.
So that, and you talk about market value. Maria said it, replacement value. The market value is lower than the replacement value. So we always we don't want to have customers coming into the office irate or dissatisfied because they are underinsured when an event occurs. So you want them to have their property covered for the exact value or a little bit more.
All right. During a process of time, individuals may do that and probably don't pay attention to, well, I added an extra bedroom or I changed some windows or something or the other in terms of tailoring your home differently. The cost will go up, most likely.
The cost will go up, yes.
Understand, but doesn't mean the insurance should remain the same way.
And in addition to that too, I was thinking about that this morning. Sometimes we do all of these additions, like you have a 2-bedroom house 5 years ago, then you add downstairs with another 2 bedrooms and you're renting it out. Maria talked about fire. You would have changed the construct of the building.
Okay.
So there's a question in the proposal form that refers to electrical. Have you gone back to Glen or to have it upgraded? Because as you know, we have various amount of devices now. We have laptops, we have iPads, we have Nintendo, AC. we have ACs without the heat now.
Exactly.
So you would have changed the whole construct of your building. And we talk about hurricane, but one of the things that we miss sometimes is a fire, because you have changed that. You have probably overloaded your electrical
wiring.
Exactly. You may be renting to somebody downstairs. You don't know the care and control of that they are having on the downstairs. So they may have devices that you don't know about. You would have overloaded, and then you have a fire. So that's why we ask that when you are doing any type of renovation, no matter how minute, that you come into the insurance company to have that discussion. We operate in utmost good faith. That is one of the benchmark of insurance. So you have to tell us what changes that you have made, what upgrades you have made, so that we can tell you, okay, well, you have to increase your sum insured, and this is what it covered, this is what it wouldn't cover.
Yeah. A question that comes to mind, someone owns a home 20 years. Say that for 20 years they have the same home, may not have done anything to it. Would your insurance cost remain the same, or would there be a devaluation of your property? I'm not sure if I'm making sense on that level.
Your property is your asset.
It's your asset.
It's
but I'm saying you probably have
would it have
depreciated asset?
It would not, depending on how you treat with it. For example, if you do not take care of it, of course. But if you are maintaining it in a proper way, and the policy speaks to that, if you are maintaining and doing whatever's minor upgrades, little tweaks, and keeping it proper. But if you let any defects or termites or anything like that, or you have bush around it or things like that, yes, it will not be the same value.
Okay.
Right? And we would not, at Becon, we would probably frown upon providing you with insurance.
Right. I'm just asking, sometimes someone continues to pay their insurance for a number of years. Maybe the insurance, when you as an insurance company, may not have been paying attention not to come and see the quality of the particular building or whether.
But post good faith again.
You understand?
We depend on you.
Well, Mr. This is keeping his yearly contribution up to date and whatever, so you're not paying attention to the value, how the property has been devalued, or depreciated, as you mentioned. So just a part that came to mind in relation to that. All right.
Before, I would also, if you don't mind, mention that in modification, it might not necessarily be modification to the main building, but you might add a garage. The property, when we speak insurance, entails everything on the plot of land that you own. It forms the property, which takes care of your gate, a retaining wall, the fence. So you may build a retaining wall that wasn't there. Climate change, there's a flood, you now have water passing through your property that wasn't passing there before. You did some mitigation work. As long as it's on your property, it now increases the value of your property.
Okay.
And it's important that you take that into consideration as
and
well.
inform your insurer.
Of course, at Becon Insurance, we want you to come in, we want you to talk to us, we want you to engage with us. As Molly say, utmost good faith. We want you, the burden is on you to come forward and say, hey, this is happening with my insurance, this is happening with my property. We will say, this is how your insurance should be adjusted.
Okay. Because sometimes folks see it as nothing, eh?
No, it's
some homeowners may see that.
Until there is a claim,
I built a little garage, or I may have paved my yard or something.
And a matter of fact, you should inform us if you are doing any type of a construction in your property.
Yes.
We should be informed, because sometimes the insurance cease depending on what construction you are doing.
That's interesting. That's interesting to know.
Your primary policy, which is your homeowner's policy, ceases to act if something happens, like a fire, like you're doing a construction and a fire occurs as a result of the construction that you're doing. It ceases your private fire insurance. So there's a lot, and again, as Maria, we have this discussion all the time. We really like that customers reach out to us, read their policies. It is important to read your contract, to understand what it covers, and reach out to us if you have any questions.
It's important because sometimes folks do a policy and just collect my policy and I'm stored. Without going through those details of what you should look forward to in the policy. That's interesting to know.
That's a beautiful thing about the Becon's policies.
Yeah.
They are clearly written. It may be numerous pages, but they are clearly written. Everybody should be able to read it and understand it. If you don't understand it, come to us. Because even as Molly mentioned, certain cover on the policy cease. One such cover is if you leave your property unoccupied for more than 30 days.
Okay.
So for whatever reason, I know of a client who left for medical reasons and in October and did not return until January. The car got washed away, the house was flooded, and what's happening now?
Yeah.
You're leaving for more than 30 days. Put a structure in place to have the property at least visited. There's a walkthrough. One cover that would cease if you leave the property unoccupied for more than 30 days is burst pipe.
Yes.
If a pipe bursts in the house and it's flooded,
there's deterioration that can take place.
And we at Becon Insurance are happy to engage our customers. We're happy to be here to educate our customers because there is power in knowledge.
So true.
Yes. So when it comes to a claim, you are adequately covered. It's a smooth process. We cut you a check. When it's time to pay your premium, you pay your premium. When it's time to pay your claim, we pay the claim. As a matter of fact, our motto is insurance is a promise to pay. And at Becon Insurance,
we keep our promises.
We keep
so
our
good.
promises.
Recently we had Hurricane Beryl and so forth, and many homes were of course, were underinsured. Some folks may say that. There was floods and so forth, especially in my area. I lost my car.
Oh, I'm sorry. We hope you were adequately insured.
I wasn't.
Well,
that means you
should be Becon Insurance. Yes.
All right.
I do have one with Becon, but one was not with Becon.
Sorry.
So can you explain the should I say the arranged causes of homeowners insurance and how it works, especially in the event of claims? How the average homeowner will get their claim, especially when disasters of that nature do occur? How do they get their claim? What process do they have to go through?
The process of having your claim reviewed is you have to come into the office or call us, and you get what you call a claim form to complete. You submit your estimates for the repairs to your property, and our claims technicians will review and get in touch with you, and they will start the claim process. We prefer that you come into the office.
Okay.
Because then we are able to go through all of the steps with you, because it's not immediate. We may have to send an adjuster, or it may be small enough that we can manage it internally. But we prefer that you come into the office so that we can treat with you and inform you of the process and the steps, so that you are always informed of every step that we have to take, so that there will not be any what I should say, misgiving, or you are dissatisfied, you don't understand what is happening. Right. So that is what we like happening at Becon.
All right. I mean, I guess in the initial stage of getting your policy, that was explained anyway, what you have insured and what you don't have insured. So when that claim comes up, you know what exactly that you're collecting on.
Yes, and as Maria said, the words are large enough so that you know. It says fire, it said hurricane, it said earthquake, malicious damage, burglary, and burglary is by forcible entry into and out of your building. But then you also have larceny, which if you leave your door unlocked and somebody just come in and they open and they just take your precious items, then you have that cover.
Okay, interesting to know. I should always lock my doors. Now, how does the location of property affects premium? Where I have my house and so on, how does it affect your premium?
The location of your property does influence your premium. As a matter of fact, we're moving to where it might even affect your ability to obtain insurance.
Okay.
In other words, if you're close to the sea, you're what we would consider high risk. So you will likely to pay a higher premium. We know Grenada is very small. It's a very close-knit island. Everybody talks to everybody. Everybody lives in peace. You may go and say, well, I'm paying $3,000 with Becon. For my house, $500,000. Go to them. They will take care of you. And they come to us and we give them a premium of $4,500. What went wrong? The location.
Your location.
Yes. If you're near the sea, that's one of the causes. If you're situated near a gas station, you're considered a high risk. So the location of your property does affect your premium.
What about flood-prone areas?
That's yes. Any waterways, rivers, streams, anything that could overflow and come onto your property. Yes, we underwrite that risk differently.
Yes.
All right. Now, what about furniture and appliances? Is there also, of course, that covered under the homeowners coverage?
Yes, that is contents, and it can be covered under your homeowner's policy. We ask that you give a list of all of your items, your large items, fridge, stove, televisions. You have 75-inch and how much inches televisions now. We ask that you provide us with a list and a value, so that if and when we have to pay the claim, we are already informed of what you have in your property, so that the claim process will be seamless.
All right. What about folks who are renting?
We offer the same contents insurance. Whether you rent it or you have your own property does not matter. Contents is contents. Once it is yours, you have a financial interest in it, and it has a financial value. Call Becon Insurance 440-4447. Come in to see us.
So I was trying to understand this. So the home, I'm renting from somone. I'm not the actual homeowner.
Yeah.
But I could insure the contents.
Your
within
contents.
The building. Within
It has to be your contents.
You own.
Sometimes you rent properties that is already furnished.
Okay.
That is not your property. You have no financial interest in that property. You go in with your beds, your living room set, your TVs, your fridge, your stove. That is yours. You have paid for it.
Yes.
And it has a financial value. Yes. You can come into us, Grenville, Carriacou, or St. George.
I own watches. I own
everything.
All jewelry and all of these electronic items, laptops, all of these things. Cell
and
phones.
You can get it to go away too. You can get a cover for away to go
So if I decide I want to travel and for some reason I lost my cell phone, once I have coverage, it could be replaced.
Once you have coverage, once you have given us all of the information relevant to that cell phone, the serial number, the type of phone, you can't just say I have a cell phone. You have to give us the details of the cell phone.
All right. It's interesting. Sometimes you folks are, I'm sure there are listeners and viewers out there now saying, I never know I could have done that.
You can. I mean, we cover things like door locks. You damage your door, you lost your key, all of those things. There's a lot.
I mean, there are some things that sometimes folks don't put that necessary attention into.
Yes.
Think, I'll ask me again next key. Some folks may think that particular way.
No, I think too, and Maria and I have discussed that a lot. When you're thinking about homeowners insurance, you think about the physical building.
Just the actual building.
Yeah, the four walls of the building. But there's so much. Maria mentioned earlier, employees liability, public liability. You invite somebody onto your property, and as a result of being invited onto the property, they become injured by something, a toy or whatever that should not have been where it was when you got injured. I mean, it might be your friend. You may think you're doing a claim against your friend, but you're not. You are injured. Your property is damaged. You can do a claim under the homeowner's policy.
All right. And under the homeowner's policy, all that becomes under one premium? I mean, the building and all the internal structure, that could be as one premium or it could be separate. Is that an option there?
One premium.
One premium.
Yes.
All right.
At Becon, the premium is so affordable that you don't even notice it. And the cover is so vast.
It's wide.
Right.
Yes.
All right. So that's another worrying question, because folks may say, because I know there's an option with the vehicles and so forth where you have that option. I hope I'm getting it right. One of your, of course, Representative came and was speaking in relation to that, where they give you a time to you can pay.
Yes, we have.
Where you, if depending on the amount, you have stages or quarterly or whatever you can make to get that before the year's up.
Yes.
Is that offered in
it is offered
in homeowners
for
also?
It is offered for all our line of business.
All right.
Yes.
All right. So you don't have to worry. Well, I don't have to come up with a loan sum instantly, but I can do it through a process of time.
No, we have a subsidiary, Northwest Premium Finance, that offers premium payment. So they pay your premium in full. Of course, it's a commitment.
Yes.
Once they pay your premium, you have to pay them the monthly installment. And once you are committed to that, every month if your premium is $3,000, they pay it to Becon in full, and you commit to them each month to pay them whatever the relevant amount is, $200 per month for 10 months, 11 months. That's what you have to do.
All right. Now, what advice would you offer to homeowners to ensure that their property are fully protected and claims are settled? What kind of advice would you offer to homeowners on that level?
Well, always review your policy. Yeah. I know a lot of people, and Molly yesterday mentioned this. We may say hurricane season starting, but if you look at it, it's starting soon. Yeah. So as much as NADMA would say prepare, NAWASA would say 2 days before, fill up your water. In insurance, we say review your policy. All right. Sit down, make sure your sum insured is adequate. Make sure that your property, some policies are renewed. Some people don't renew them on time. If it is that you have your installments or your premium is due, try to see if you can contact us to let us know what your situation is, so we have an understanding, okay, this is what's happening with your premium. So make sure your policy is reviewed to see whether it's renewed, it's up to date, the sum insured is adequate, the coverage is suitable for what you have your property being used for, and that your premium is paid. Again, at Becon Insurance, we are always happy to entertain your queries, your call. Come in to us, let's sit down with you, review your policy.
Sometimes folks may say in the conversation, you say you understand. When you get home, you're thinking different.
Yeah.
It always happens. Yes. We spoke about that, but then when I get home and you're probably reading, I don't understand that. It's just a phone call away to call your representative and have that, whatever clarification you need.
And also, in addition to what Maria said, I mean, you don't know the value of your contents until something happens, and you don't have it to use it. We have had the experience where, yes, the building is covered, and then you lose everything as your contents, and then you realize, oh my God, I didn't have it covered. Yeah. Until you lose it is when you know the value of it. So go through before the hurricane season, go through your home. You may have you forgot you bought a new TV, or you bought a new TV and you didn't inform us. So you had a 50-inch, now you have a 75-inch, or you change your fridge, or you change your stove. Go through and itemize. Keep a list for yourself and submit a list to the insurance company. These are what I have as my contents in my home. So you can have it covered. And if a loss occurs, you are fully insured.
One final question I want to ask both of you, Coach, whatever, get your perspective from both of you. How important it is for homeowners to have their property insured? How important is that?
How important is your car to get you to work?
Very important. I need it.
So
I want to walk.
and your car, as Molly mentioned yesterday, is always a much lower value than your home.
So true.
But if the mindset you should have, if my home was to be completely destroyed now, am I in a financial position to rebuild?
Yes.
No. So insurance is important because you're transferring that to us. For a premium, a small premium, you're saying to us, if my property gets damaged by fire, earthquake, hurricane, volcanic eruption, any of those things, this is what it will cost to rebuild it. I would like you to pay me back.
Okay.
And that's where insurance starts. A lot of people would only hear of insurance or purchase insurance when they're taking out a mortgage. That's the bank seeking their interest. If your property gets destroyed, the policy will pay the bank.
Yeah.
You would no longer owe the bank, but where are you living?
Yeah.
You're going to go to the bank and take another mortgage, and you're going to buy another insurance.
Yeah.
Even if you don't have a mortgage, buy insurance. Can you afford to rebuild just the way you are? If you can't, well, we're happy for you. If you can't, buy insurance.
And is that?
That's it.
Anything you wanna
Remember you are transferring risk, and we provide protection.
Yeah.
This is your investment. You have built a $1.5 million home and you don't have insurance. You have built a home for $50,000, your life's money, and something happens, you don't have it again. You are transferring this value for minimum premium. $1.5 million, you pay $3,500 for an entire year.
Yeah.
To transfer that risk to us, and we will provide that protection for you.
All right, it's great to know. Great to know. I want to thank you both once again for coming and, of course, share the information this morning. I know there are listeners and viewers out there who may have that misconception of not wanting home insurance. And I like that, of course, that you presented in terms of a car. Some folks prefer to insure their car and pay little attention to a car that loses depreciation as it goes along every day. Your home of course, the value may always continue to grow once you do the necessary modifications to it.
Yes.
So it's always it should be a first for you.
Take care of your home.
Not that your car is not important too, but you need to make sure that your home is always protected with proper insurance. And of course, the folks at Becon can offer you that.
At Becon, we can. 440-4447-6889, Grenville, Carriacou, and St. George.
All right. Is there other digital handles? Because there's most folks today in the world, they do everything digitally. Website, Facebook, whatever it is.
The website is becongrenada.com. The website, that's the website. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram.
And all information you need.
All information you need is there.
Yes. Some folks, we don't like to use the phone these days for some reason, except we have to. And they'll prefer to go look at our website and gather all the information they have, or send you a message via WhatsApp, whatever they can.
Or drive down to Becon.
Drive
down to Becon.
Or have that one-on-one conversation.
Yes, because you get more information that way, engagement, one-on-one engagement.
Well, Lisa, I want to thank you once again. Fruitful information. I'm sure there are listeners and viewers who will be taking you up on some, and of course, all that we spoke about this morning.
Hope so.
And certainly take you up on that because it is important to have homeowners insurance. Thank you once again. Anything in closing before we take a wrap?
We're here, we're creating the awareness. The hurricane season starts in 3 months. You have 3 months to prepare yourself, review your policy, make sure you're covered. For what it's worth, contact us. We'll give you a quote. You can sleep on it, think about it, and get back to us.
All right, great. All the best. Have a good day.
Thank you, JT.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
All right. Hey, folks, that's what we're going to take a wrap for this edition of the Mid-Morning Buzz. Join us again for another edition. That's what we say.